All right, today we're going to dive into the story behind one of the most famous, most absolutely breathtaking buildings on the entire planet, the Taj Mahal. Yeah, we all know it as an icon of love, but the story of how it was actually built, well, that's a masterpiece of human ingenuity.
I mean, come on, how perfect is that? The great poet Rabindranath Tagore just nailed it. It's so beautiful. But behind that poetry is an incredible story of love, yes, but also of grief, and some seriously breathtaking engineering, which really begs the question. So, how did they do it? How, without any modern technology, did they create something so perfect that it still leaves us speechless? That's the question we're answering today. We're going to look at the engineering genius, the international dream team they put together, and the sheer, raw ambition that turned a personal vision into one of the world's greatest wonders.
Okay, so to really understand how the Taj Mahal was built, you first have to understand why. And the why here, it's not just a commission. It's a truly heartbreaking story of a profound, all-consuming loss. You see, the Mughal emperor Shah Jahan was completely, totally devoted to his wife, Mumtaz Mahal. She wasn't just a wife, she was his best friend, his closest advisor, and she went with him everywhere. But then, in 1631, after 19 years of marriage and their 14th child, she tragically died during childbirth.
And his grief was, well, legendary. Court historians wrote that it was just all-consuming. He went into total seclusion for a year, and the story goes that when he finally came out, his black hair had turned snow white. It was from this bottomless well of sorrow that the idea for the Taj Mahal was born.
And listen, this is so key to understanding the whole project. The Taj Mahal wasn't just supposed to be a tomb. Shah Jahan's vision was to build a physical, earthly replica of paradise for his wife, an almost impossibly grand, beautiful ambition. But a vision that huge can't be built on grief and willpower alone. Nope. It required the absolute best talent on Earth. So Shah Jahan basically assembled what you could call a 17th century dream team of architects, artists, and engineers from all over the world. And the scale of this whole operation, it's just immense. At its busiest, the project was a bustling city of 20,000 workers. You had laborers from all across northern India working side by side with master craftsmen who were recruited from all over Asia and the Middle East. And just look at this leadership team. It shows you how international this project was. The chief architect was from India, the dome specialist was from the Ottoman Empire, and the lead calligrapher hailed from Persia. This was a true global collaboration, a huge statement about the Mughal Empire's incredible reach and power. And get this is a perfect illustration of how much they valued that elite talent. The lead mosaic artist, a guy named Charanjalal, earned 800 rupees a month. Now, compare that to the 15 rupees a standard skilled worker made. That's over 50 times more. They weren't just paying for good work. They were paying for the absolute best in the world. Okay, so you've got your dream team. Now comes the next challenge, and it's a logistical nightmare, gathering all the materials. This wasn't just a local job. This was a global treasure hunt. That iconic, luminous white marble, the stuff that seems to glow and change color with the light, it had to be quarried and then hauled nearly 400 kilometers. And these weren't small bricks. These were massive blocks that weighed tons. So what was their solution? Pure animal power. Over 1,000 elephants were used as the main heavy lift transport, along with thousands of oxen and camels. I mean, can you just imagine the sight of those caravans stretching for miles and miles?
And it wasn't just marble, oh no. For all that detailed inlay work, they imported 28 different types of precious and semi-precious stones from all over the known world. Lapis from Afghanistan, jade from China, sapphires from Sri Lanka. The empire's incredible reach is literally embedded right there in the walls of the building.
So they have the people and they have the materials. But building a 35,000-ton marble structure on a soft, sandy riverbank, that presented some massive engineering problems that required some truly brilliant, outside-the-box solutions. The foundation alone is an absolute masterpiece of engineering. To make that unstable riverbank solid, they dug a bunch of deep wells, filled them up with stone to act like modern concrete pillars, drove huge wooden piles deep into the earth, and then built a colossal stone platform on top to spread out the weight. And this is the part that just blows my mind. They were thinking about something we consider super modern, seismic stability. They actually designed the Taj Mahal to resist earthquakes.
And the design was just brilliantly simple. You see the 4 minarets, the towers surrounding the tomb? They were built to lean just slightly outward. Why? So that if a major earthquake hit, they would fall away from the main dome, not crush it. Plus, they used flexible iron clamps in the joints to allow for a little bit of movement. Just pure genius.
The crowning glory, of course, is that famous dome. And it's a bit of a trick. It's actually a double-shelled dome, a technique brought in by the Ottoman expert. There's a massive outer dome that gives it that iconic, towering shape you see from the outside, but then a much smaller, lower inner dome that creates an intimate, proportional ceiling for the room below. It's structurally brilliant and just aesthetically perfect.
So, what was the final bill for this masterpiece in both time and money? Let's take a look at the final numbers and the incredible legacy of this monumental project.
All in all, the entire complex took 22 years to build. The main tomb itself was finished in about 12 years, and then they spent another whole decade finishing the surrounding gardens, the mosque, and the main gateway. The cost back then was around 32 million rupees. Now, to put that into perspective, someone calculated that in 2015, that would be the equivalent of over 800 million US dollars. We're talking about a project that was a massive, massive investment.
And what about that famous gruesome myth? The one that says Shah Jahan had the artisans' hands cut off so they could never build anything as beautiful again? Well, let's put that one to bed right now. There is absolutely no historical evidence for it. In fact, we know that many of the key craftsmen went on to work on other major imperial projects. It's just a myth.
In the end, what they accomplished is just staggering. They did all of this with ropes, pulleys, elephants, and human hands. Not a single modern machine. It's an incredible testament to patience, to genius, and to a vision that was born from love. And it kind of leaves us with a big question for our own time, doesn't it? What will we build that will still be standing, still taking people's breath away 400 years from now?